So how did you start? Like, what's your story? Like, how did you get into personal development books? I suppose it started with personal development, or was it what's your story?
Oh, okay. So you, in particular to this question, just to answer in answering this question specifically, how I got into personal development. Well, I went to, I started school, undergrad, in Connecticut, and I was undecided for the first year, and then I chose after I came back from Iraq. I served in the military, uh, and I served in Operations Iraqi and Enduring Freedom.
That's
I
crazy.
came back, finally declared a major. My major was psychology. I studied psychology. I was reading the books in class. And then as the years got by, because I got so passionate into psychology, I really loved
Yeah.
studying it, that I actually was reading books on my own out of class.
Yeah.
When school was over, when the semester was done, I was still reading. I was going to Barnes and Noble and what was once called Borders bookstore, and reading books there, or buying books and reading. And so I was in, reading those books, and they once used to be called self help and
Self-help.
self development. Now they're called personal development books,
Yeah.
but it's the same. It's same idea.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just had a passion of just reading these books and really just using it for my application, for personally, academically, and professionally. As of course, I worked in a psychiatric hospital with children for several years. I worked with children, adolescents, and adults, primarily children, but I worked also with adolescents and adults. So I just immersed myself in the field, especially by reading books, and I just loved it. So starting there, that's what got me into really getting the momentum. It took me all, but what made me my who I am today, Tony Moze, though, was after a devastating breakup that I encountered uh, uh, some time ago, where I was really down and I felt like fucking crap, and I was just wondering, how the hell can I get out of this? And a friend of mine recommended to me Thich Nhat Hanh's book, the discovering. It's called I Am Here. Discovering the Magic of the Present Moment. And it was this yellow book, this little yellow book, whatever. It looked yellow, at least. I mean, it looked small in my hand. It was a yellow book.
Yeah.
And I read it and I was just so in love with it. And it really changed the trajectory of how I thought about
That's
things.
epic, man. It
And that's
reminds
what got
it
me.
reminds me of Eckhart Tolle, his books, The Power of Now and The New
Yeah.
Earth. Was it
Yeah.
similar?
Yeah, I mean, because yes, it was all about presence and stuff like that. Eckhart Tolle, they're both basically of the same family. Eckhart Tolle just tells it a little differently, while Thich Han tells it on a different side too, and it gives you a different perspective. But it was that book that changed my life, and that's what got me to start reading more and get into the whole idea of entrepreneurship, and books that entrepreneurs would read, business management, acquiring, wealth accumulation, like Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game, and all those wonderful good, The Intelligent Investor. I just couldn't believe that just that book
By the way,
got me.
guess what's next to me here?
Let me see that. Oh, perfect book right there.
It's
Perfect.
on my reading list. Yeah.
Perfect. I
Dude,
love
but
it.
that sounds awesome. Like, how many years ago did you like start?
Okay, so so how did can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. So when did you start your brand, quote unquote?
Oh, my brand. Okay, well, I started in August of 2015.
Oh, that's not long ago.
No, very no.
Oh,
But the thing is though, it's not. I started the brand 2015, but I've been doing these things for a long time.
got
I've been reading books since I
it.
was a child. My mother put me in a reading contest when I was 9 years old.
No way.
She put me in a reading contest. I read 14 books by the end of the summer. In 2 months, I read 14 books by the age of 9. And these books weren't just fourth grade books. They were fifth, sixth, seventh grade books I was reading. So I started reading those books. So I was like really in the habit since I was 5, like reading, but 9 was when I just started like really just getting into reading books. I was the guy that everybody looked at and they said, you know what? He can read. How about he reads to us? How about he teaches us out how to read? And I was teaching kids in elementary school how to read because I came from a predominantly Black Hispanic neighborhood where the literacy rate was very low. And so the kids were always looking to me to be that teacher. So I was a teacher to them in an elementary school. So I've been reading since I was a kid. Now, rapping, or if you want to call, or as I would say, rhyming poetry, spoken word, I've been doing that since I was 14 years old. So, 5 years later, you do the math, and,
Well,
you
that's
know.
that was actually my next question. I mean, you have the reading parts and then you have the rapping parts.
Mhm.
How did those two come together? Like,
Yes.
the idea,
So,
the idea is actually very original and at the same time a bit crazy.
mm,
And I don't know, I've never seen another person doing that. So from that, the idea is just very original.
right. Right. Yeah, no one's putting together hip hop with book reviews or hip hop with books together. And I'm glad that I became the pioneer of that. And I know that I did the research as well. I wanted to see what was going on. I saw a couple of things, but let me get back to what you asked me.
Yeah.
So 9 years old was when I started like really getting intense with books. At 14, I joined a rap group called the Verbal Assassins Clique. And this was in high school, right? So we were getting together and we were performing on stage. We were doing even lip syncs. Even the lip syncs, we did not even lip sync. We got on stage and we rapped. We rapped our own songs. So I've been rapping since then. I was traveling also at around 21, I think around 20. I was traveling around overseas. I've been to Norway, Australia, Argentina, performing on stage, writing, recording, doing music videos overseas. I'm also on a 12-inch vinyl, but I'm under a different alias. That's why, like, who I was then to who I am now, like, that's another thing to also talk about. But nevertheless, I've been rapping since I was 14. And I've been affiliated with the hip hop community since then, just traveling around the world, getting with different types of cultures, seeing their hip hop, collaborating with them. So it took me one day. Yeah, it took me right after I read the book, Thich Nhat Hanh's I Am Here, Discovering the Magic of the Present Moment, to know that, like, man, like, I love reading. Also, and let me take a little step back before that, my friend, is that I was going on YouTube and I was seeing everybody was doing book reviews. And I love book reviews. I was like, great, this gives me a little insight to what the books are about. But then somehow, some way, I just came with a spark of inspiration. I said, what if I put my own twist on it? What if I do something a little musical, something that incorporates what I've learned? Because I went to a performing arts school where I not only learned how to play an alto sax,
Yeah.
I also learned how to act. This was when I was like 6.
I see that in your videos. They're actually little artistic compositions, like the mimics, and it's fascinating to watch it.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I mean, I for the fact that I haven't really acted in so long, I mean, I was in a music video, like in the past, like 3 or 4 years. I always get typecasted, by the way. I'm always the guy that's like the captain as the father in The Sound of Music. This was when I was like 6, to the psychiatrist doctor, which was like 4 or 5 years ago in this music. It was like a long length music video. It's like a rapper in a rock group. His name is the Joey Bats Band. Now you guys can start researching me now that I'm actually starting to pour who I am out to people, because I actually had a different alias. But
Tony, quick message for the camera, please. Instagram.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tony Moze. I'm right here with my boy right here, Anthony Perez.
Thank you.
Book success.
Good interview. Cheers. There we go.
But yeah, just to conclude though, like, I saw the book reviews and I was like, let me put my own twist. So I decided one day, I said, you know what, I'm going to do rhyming book reviews. I'm going to incorporate the two passions of mine, reading books and rapping.
I just love the story. Like, it is you, man. It represents you. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect, man. Like, how do you perceive your videos? Do you see them more as entertaining, informative, or both at the same time?
So, coming up with, well, the initial idea was because I've been an entertainer for so long, was the idea that I wanted to grab people's attention when they're bored, because, for some people, I don't know, I haven't calculated the statistics or calculated percentage of people, but I would say, at least in the United States, they're not really fond of reading books. And that's another reason why I chose to do this. And there's people like you, there's people like me, there's people like our peers who we know, you know, in our circle. And once again, I don't know you that personally, so that's another thing that people need to know, is that I don't know you personally. I've known you off of social media,
Yeah.
but the thing is that we have our little niche culture of people who read books. But when you look at it in the big scheme of things, not many people love reading books. And so my first,
Especially nonfiction books.
on top of that, yes, and that's another debate too, is the discussion is that many people would prefer to read the fictional books over the nonfiction.
The Harry Potters and the...
Yeah. So, and that could be something of a discussion either later or another time. But the whole idea too, Anthony, is just that many people don't want to read books, and so therefore my angle was to come at it in a way that entertained them first and then educated them, because I come from a line of education. I come from that background. Like, you know, I just got my master's degree in psychology. So college, going to the university, is something that I've learned quite some time until now, knowing that, you know, I'm in this realm of entrepreneurship. So I'm also like in the whole mentality of like, you know, and once again, this is a topic for another maybe discussion or a later discussion, but the whole idea that the university, college is not necessarily that, is not that beneficial, you know, but I come from that whole background. You know, you go to school, you learn, you get yourself educated, you become smarter through that and all that stuff. And so, but I know that the trends and how things are going with people on a mass scale is not many people necessarily, people don't want to sit there for hours and be lectured. People don't want to sit there and read a book for hours. Many people don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you and I do, and our peers do. There's a niche culture of us that do. But in the grand scheme of things, nobody wants to really sit there and read a book. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to sit there and be lectured and talked about the fucking, you know, the universe and the stars and the polarities, or and I'm even thinking about like shit on a scientific level, but nobody wants to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say nobody. That just sounds too like,
I mean, yeah,
absolute, but
entertainment and information is just the best combo, you know, like
right.
it makes it easier to grasp, and yeah, it's just
Right.
a good thing to do.
So my thing is to put that finesse, is to make the finesse between it being entertaining, but also informational, or it being like captivating, but also being educational.
Yeah. By the way, I saw that on one of your latest YouTube videos, you used the subtitles, which I actually really liked, because sometimes when you rap, it's you go fast, and sometimes it's hard to like understand what you say, you know? Like I really like the subtitles.
You know what? I'm getting that reception too, because I'm getting that feedback as well. And like, it's cool that I'm talking very candidly about this. Like, everybody knows like this, or at least I could tell you and everyone else who's watching or listening, that this is my, you know, as of 2015, this makes it a year and some change that I've been an entrepreneur, that I've been a business-minded person, that I've been doing this like with that kind of mentality of like really grabbing intentionally masses of people. And yes, I've been getting that feedback. The feedback is definitely, I come from that, also that school, that underground, that school of thought, or that in culture, where in underground hip hop is all about rhymes. That's why I call myself the rhyming book reviewer. But like, it's about rhymes and intricacies, and people want to listen to that. And sometimes I gotta back off of that. That's the thing that I also gotta remember. Like, sometimes you gotta back off and make it
balance,
space it off so that people can understand. Because I was dating a girl who's from Serbia, and she was telling me like, you know, I'm a foreign girl. She goes, I don't even understand. I you know, like some of the things I understand, but other things I don't understand from you. Then I also had a mentorship meeting with a man who's like in his 60s. And he goes, look, there's people who are my age who may not have good hearing. He was saying one of those things. And he goes, to be honest with you, he's like, you ever considered putting like subtitles, or even like doing this where you could put lyrics? And yes, in my YouTube, I always have started from the first time I put lyrics at in the description. But the way things I see are going too is people want to see it right on the screen. So yeah, like that's a good feedback right there.
A very interesting topic as well, like finding the balance between art, like creating art pieces, and at the same time being able to market it to the market? I mean, like to
Right.
your audience, you know, like yeah, how do you find that balance, you know?
Right. So, and I think it takes time, you know, as long as you put in the hours, you put in the work, you start figuring out, and it's not just like putting hours, like, I'm just going to keep writing and rapping and whatever. No, and keep reading books. No, like you put in the work of learning, what does your market want? What do the people want? What are those prospective customers, clientele, your buyers persona? What do they want from you? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the things that I'm learning throughout time, you know, and I know that it's always obviously it's gonna get. I keep getting better and better, whether it's the content or the quality of my videos, or it's the you know what I'm saying, or it's the lyrical content, or just even understanding what people are receiving. Like it's those little things that are just like adding up through time. But it definitely takes the man hours, the women hours,
Yeah,
to put in that to get you to learn about your market and what they want.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, another question, like, what are the goals for your YouTube channel? Like, how do you see, what is that direction you want to go in for the next coming months?
So okay, so well, of course I have goals. My goal is to, of course, get 1 million subscribers. You know, so you know, and then I know that's
Dream
through
big,
time.
right?
Huh?
Dream big, right?
Of course, you gotta dream big. You know, of course, and I'm not gonna even die that down. Of course, exactly. And I think I'm gonna get very high. And I think I actually, you know what? What the fuck am I saying? I'm gonna be at 1 million subscribers. That's what I am going to be. And the thing is,
I love that.
of course, I watch guys like Gary Vaynerchuk, and I really love what he's fucking talks about. Look, I've only been in the game for a year and some change. You know, like literally, like legitimately saying, like, look, I'm making this a business. I am a brand. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the author in promoting and marketing their books, you know, and so now I have to think of it in a business way, in a business model. So
Yeah,
I'm new to this. So obviously, and a trained ear-eye mentality can tell that. But I'm being very transparent, you know. But I do believe in Gary Vaynerchuk's whole ethic and mentality of, you have to work at this, whether it's, you know, and it's going to take you 10 years. And I'm not looking at 10 years. I'm thinking like in 5 years, but nevertheless, I'm still saying, yo, in 10 years, I can see myself continuing to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get a, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just the idea that you continue learning and you continue hustling and you continue believing in what you do, and that's what's going to get you to your goals and visions. That's what's going to get you your ultimate goal and vision.
100% agree. Yeah. So you said 1 million subscribers. In terms of your content, what are your goals in terms of your content? Do you want to produce rhyming book reviews, like making them better, or do you want to go another direction? You want to stick to rhyming book reviews?
Well, yeah, because well, we don't know what's going to happen down the line, but I mean, I picture myself doing rhyme and book reviews for at least the next 3 years. And within that time, I already have an idea of how I want my videos to look. I want them to get to the point where I am directing it and I have a cast of people acting in these videos, and they're basically Hollywood, you know, TV. I don't know how MTV is doing anymore. I don't really watch TV anymore. I'm like what Jim Ron says, like I'm all about my books instead of a fucking TV.
Yeah, man.
So, but like I want it to get to that point where I'm like those Vivo people, where I'm a Vivo. I'm Tony Moze Vivo, where fucking I get a million eyeballs on my fucking content because what I bring to you, what I bring to the viewer is of value. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter about what the fuck I'm saying. It's all about how much value I'm bringing. And so I know through time, because I'm visualizing, because I keep thinking about how can I better myself every time, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get to the point where I'm having people in other parts of the world, or even people who would never even consider reading books.
Man, I love it. I love it, man. I love you. Epic. Yeah, man. If you would give, like, right off the bat, 3 books that you totally fell in love with and that you want to share, like that you recommend to other people reading, just 3 books.
3 books. Okay. The One Thing.
The
That's number one. Talent is Never Enough. Oh my God. I love Talent is Never Enough by John C. Maxwell. So The One Thing by Jay Papasan and Gary Keller.
the one
Uh,
thing.
yep, The One Thing. That's the first book. The second book is Talent Talent is Never Enough by John C. Maxwell.
Talent is Never Enough by John C. Maxwell.
Yep. And the third book is Deepak Chopra's The Higher Self.
Can you repeat that first word?
Yep. Deep is by Deepak.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Chopra spelled Chopra.
Okay. Yeah.
So Deepak. So D as in Delta, E as in Echo, P as in, Papa, R as in Romeo, A as in Alpha, K as in Kilo. And the last name's Chopra, C as in Charlie, H as in Hotel, O as in opera. Now I'm mixing up the military. P as in piano, R as in Romeo, A as in Alpha. Deepak Chopra's The Higher Self.
Higher Self. Okay, I'm gonna write these down after the interview. Perfect.
Fucking impactful books. They fucking really revolutionized. I mean, but the thing is, like, I know that because I have the cassette version. I didn't even notice that. Like, I actually intended to get the CD version. I got the cassette version. And it seems to me, maybe this is my own mentality, but I think because I have both the CD and the cassette seems more lengthy than the CD. I feel like the CD, they condensed it. And so with the cassette, after I kept listening to it, I was just amazed by how much, like, how in depth that fucking thing is. It's all about the mind and the body and the connection to your spiritual and your higher self, your cosmic and your divine self. Like, everything's related. Once you, and remember, I believe in the whole Socratic idea. Socrates said, once you know yourself, he says, know thyself. But another person, I believe, said, once you know yourself, you're able to understand and know others. And so that is one book right there that really gets you to know your brain, your body, how it relates. You really get in tune. You become the mother, the father, the brother, the caretaker of your body and your mind.
Brilliant. Okay. I'm going to do the search. Definitely. Yeah. All right, Tony. Thank you very much for your time, man. Like, I love this chat.
Thank you.
Could you maybe, like, I don't know, just to end off crazy, give a little rap?
Okay. Hell yeah. You know what? All right. We'll check it out. Here's the one thing. Focus on one thing. Ain't no success doing one thing, pumpkin. Turn your energy into something. Find your passion. Go for it and prime the action. Never let your mind relax. And if you focus many things in times, it's taxing. Focus big questions that your mind needs answering. Be original. Keep thoughts in original beat. Thoughts. Yo, I'm fucking. It doesn't matter because I keep coming off the dome. Keep coming off. I'm in home. I'm a Tony Moze. I be the only crony. It doesn't matter. Yeah, yo, you know me. I got my man Anthony Perez from Boston. It doesn't matter. Yo, I freestyle often. Massachusetts. Freestyles, MCs, raps is useless. I can't even freestyle on this rap music. I have to abuse it off the instrumental. Doesn't matter. When I freestyle, it's been essential. Coming off again. Freestyle to my friend Anthony. When I grab the mic, I lyrically pants MCs. Coming off the top of the brain. Stopping this game. It doesn't matter. Once again, I'm hard to maintain. It doesn't matter because I never go pop. My name is Tony Moze. Let me put this freestyle to a stop.
Oh man, that was epic. That was awesome, man. All right. Thank you very much, Tony.
I appreciate it, man.